Hi, and thank you so much for joining me for today's process video. And today is another day. It's day 16 in 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, series 17. And today's sketch is by Angie Saylor. I'm so sorry, Angie. I don't know how to pronounce your surname. I think it's Aleszczyk. So sorry about that. I'll add Angie's details in the description box down below, and you can see the sketch in the top left hand corner there, and it's got this lovely mixed media circle on it. So I've chosen a photo of the kids on a P&O cruise back in 2019, and this was formal night, so we had them out on the balcony taking a photo of them in all their beautiful attire. And then I've taken a paper from Summer Porch by 49 Market. It's one of the foundations papers, and I'm just adding the circular elements. So you will have seen there, I started off with a pair of compasses and I drew a circle which was about 9 inches in diameter. And just very lightly with a pencil, and then I took my white acrylic paint and finger painted that in a very rough circle all the way around that pencil line. I'm now watering down that acrylic paint again and adding splatters, so I've just put that to one side to dry while I work on the photo. So the photo is a 4x6 format, and I'm just going to mat it onto some white cardstock just to get that nice border and definition between that and the layers that I'm going to put behind it. So I pulled out my scraps, and I've got loads of 49 Market Serenity papers, the 6x8 paper pad. Their paper pads or paper packs have so many papers in them. I think you get 3 of each design. So I've still got a lot of these left over. I don't generally get 6x8 paper pads anymore because I don't tend to reach for them half as much as I do the main 12x12 papers, and hence the reason that I'm left with so many of this one. But it's working really nicely for mats behind my photos, so that's what I'm doing. So starting with this lovely dark navy blue, and then I'm pulling out this other one. I think I've got 2 sheets of this actually, which I work with today. So first of all, cutting off a piece, again to offset it. I offset that navy one. I didn't want it as a complete mat behind the photo. I like to add interest by offsetting the layers as I go. You can see there, crisis averted. I nearly stuck it down photo side up down instead of pattern paper side down. And I was trying to get this done before our crop this morning, and I had an idea and really wanted to get some sorted before I went to the crop, and then I could allow things to dry properly before completing the layout this evening, which is what I did, because this is going up tomorrow morning, which is Sunday the 16th. So continuing with my mats, look, here's another piece. I'm pretty sure that's the same as that other piece that I put down, and I'm just moving it round to get different parts of the paper showing. So here I've got a little bit of that floral showing in the bottom corner, I think that was. And then I shall use my edge distresser once again to distress all those edges. And that's the photo nicely matted. I try and finish with a complete sheet behind the photo. So I went off camera there and cut, again from scrap paper, that film strip using the Hey Little Magpie film strip die. That's another 49 Market paper, but I think it was from one of the Art Options Alina maybe. It was just another tone of yellow. It's more like a sea green yellow. Why am I saying yellow? Blue. So I thought that would go nicely with this page. And then I went into my inklings, and this is from Shimmers. It's Oaky Bear Blue, and it's just a really nice blue to add accents to this circle. So first of all, I started by adding plenty of splatters all around the circle, and then with what was left on the paintbrush, I decided to create these lovely rings. And I didn't dip the brush in again, I just went for it. Now the white was still a little bit wet, so these sort of blended in with the white acrylic paint as well, but I'm really pleased with the overall effect. So that's the layout, nice and dry. I'm back from the crop now, and I'm continuing. So looking at the sketch again, I noticed that it looked like it was slightly offset on a black paper. I thought black would be a little bit too stark for this layout, so I've just offset it onto white. So you can see I'm just doing that there, and then I'll trim off the bits that are overhanging to make it back into a 12x12 paper. It's very subtle, but I really like the look of this, and it also means that I can curl up those edges of the paper to reveal that slightly darker blue behind, which works really nicely. So there we go, that's that down. So I'm just going to gently rough up the edges with my fingernails for now, but I will come in at the end and curl them back a little bit more, like I say, to get that blue really showing. Wasn't the easiest thing to do because I've managed to get the glue right to the edge of the, the papers, which I don't normally do. But you can see here I'm just trying to rough it up a little bit more in that top right hand corner. So now I'm going to build my layers behind the photo, and it goes fairly quickly. I pulled some bits out while once I got home before I started recording again. So I've got that lovely film strip that I'd die cut, and then the acetate one is from I think it's from the Spectrum Gardenia collection of film strips. They seem to be going on forever. I've used a fair few, but there are still some left, and that's more like a grey-white. So it sits really nicely against that teal green blue colour, or yellow as I said earlier. So just getting the photo down, and then I can tuck all these bits behind. So I'm just going to use my wet glue to get the film strips stuck down. I find that the easiest because they're so thin. It's much easier than trying to fiddle and get that double-sided tape behind them. So there's the first one down, and then I've got that lovely grey-white one, and then the black one that I cut in half. There was no point in using the full piece because it was going to be hidden behind the photo anyway, so I thought I may as well keep the other half for a future layout. So just getting that situated, and then the black one tucked behind them all. And that black piece is going to almost work as a frame or a grounding piece for all the other bits of embellishments that I'm going to add to that bottom left-hand corner. So that's down. I've got this lovely tag piece. This is from the Summer Porch collection from 49er Market. I just had the embellishment pieces, the ephemera pack from this collection, but they've worked really well on a number of layouts. I'm very pleased with them. And I love these little extra pieces that you get that were inside the frames, but they've got that lovely chevron. So I just use that as a piece to tuck behind the corner just to add a bit of interest. And then that's the heart that came out of the middle of it. And then I've got this gorgeous ruffled ribbon that I decided to tuck down the left-hand side of the photo. Again, just to bring in a different tone of blue and to add a little bit of interest to the left there. So just using my wet glue to get that stuck down. It's actually elasticated ribbon, and it's got those gorgeous ruffles on it, so it just works really nicely. Like I say, just as a bit of interest down the left-hand side. So just checking that it's all tucked in neatly. And then I've got this lovely frame that's going to go on the right-hand side. And again, this is the base for my cluster on the right-hand side of my title. So starting with that, I then bring in a small piece of paper. This is just an offcut from one of the ephemera pieces in that ephemera pack. And I've just punched a hole in the top to create sort of like a faux tag. So I'll tuck that in the right-hand side there. And I will bring some wax twine in a minute to add to that, just roughing up those edges. So here's that wax twine. It's just a nice navy blue. I cut a nice big piece because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but in the end I do just tie a bow after messing around for a little while. So I'm just going to leave that up there for now while I add my title. And I pulled out these Heidi Swap titles because I thought one of those would wear nicely, and I decided to go for the one that says Out to Sea. So I shall add that in a second, just adding this lovely starfish to the left-hand side along with that heart. And that starfish is just one of the embellishment pieces that we sell at Hey Little Magpie as the bits and pieces collection. So here's that title, just peeling it off the backing paper. I really need to get these used because I can already feel the glue is starting to go off on that acetate sheet. So this is your lesson from me to not save things, try and use them because they do. The adhesive does fail over time, so it's important to get them in your books rather than leaving them on the acetate. So again, fiddling and faffing with that wax twine, trying to decide whether to put that little banner that says "So Thankful" and also where the wax twine is going to go. But in the end, I think a bow is just the most sensible solution there because there's a lot going on in that little cluster. So just trim off the excess bits and then I'll tuck it behind the title just to hold it in place. And that banner I do actually move down to below the word Out. See, there we go, and it goes down there. So I'm just going to work on the top cluster now. So I've got a little tab which is going to hold my date, and then a few labels that I'm just going to tuck behind just to create some nice layers above the photo up there. And it's been a nice opportunity to pull out some older stash creating this layout. Those are all from the Summer Porch ephemera pack. I'm just going to add my roller date here, which is the 13th of April 2019. And then I'm pulling out some of my sticker books. So first of all, the Simple Stories Vintage Essentials Colourful. And I found a little label that says take the photo. So I've added that to the left. And then just a couple of, well, just one actually, I think, button, which I'm adding to the left there as well. And then this is an old Heidi Swap book. And I found another label to add to the top in another green, sort of greeny blue. So that works nicely up there. And then a couple of word phrases, one that says lovely and one that says loving this. And these are acetate, so slightly translucent, which makes it really nice, but also a little bit more challenging in finding a place on a layout, because you can see through them slightly. So just adding some journaling underneath that out to sea title, very small amount, I don't need to add a lot really. And then this is where I come in and start roughing up those edges and really pulling them across and exposing that navy blue behind. Very happy with how that looks. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Do check the description box down below for everybody else playing along. And I shall see you very soon. Bye.